Hello, hello.
Yep.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you. Thank you.
Commissioner Litton?
Okay.
I'm here.
Great backdrop. Well, good afternoon and welcome to the Maryland Public Service Commission. Today we are conducting an evidentiary hearing on the results of the Reserve Standard Offer Service auctions for residential and Type 1 and 2 business electricity customers for several of Maryland investor-owned utilities. The Reserve auction was necessary due to the 2023 third bid day failure to procure its full supply target because the residential products for Baltimore Gas and Electric, Pepco, Potomac Edison, and Delmarva and Power and Light did not attract sufficient offers below the price anomaly threshold. So with that, why don't we go ahead and take appearances for the record. Mr. Dean, not Mr. Spivak. Welcome. Why don't you go ahead and start with appearances?
Good afternoon, Chairman, Commissioners. Michael Dean on behalf of staff.
Thank you. Anyone from OPC?
Good afternoon, Chairman, Commissioners. Nikki Wiggins for OPC.
Great, thank you. And utilities, I see, let's see, the person who came the furthest, which I believe is you, Mr. Trout.
Thank you, Your Honor. Jeff Trout, present for Potomac Edison.
Great, thank you.
Good afternoon, Beverly Sokora, present for BGE.
Great, thank you.
Good afternoon, Taylor Beckham, present for Pepco and Delmarva Power and Light.
Great, thank you. Once again, good afternoon, Mr. Dean. You may begin with your first witness.
Thank you. Staff would like to call Mr. Frank Mossberg.
And the executive secretary will swear you in.
Mr. Mossberg, raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear under the penalties of perjury that the statements made in this matter today are the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Witness sworn. Your witness.
Mr. Mossberg, could you provide your position and company?
Sure, I'm a partner with Bates White, LLC.
Thank you. Do you have before you a document entitled Direct Testimony of Frank Mossberg consisting of 9 pages of testimony?
I do.
Was this prepared by you or under your supervision?
It was.
Do you have any changes or corrections to this document?
I do not.
Thank you. Staff would like to mark this as Staff Exhibit Number 1.
Thank you. Mr. Mossberg's testimony is so marked as Staff Exhibit 1, and without objection will be moved into evidence.
Mr. Mossberg's available for any questions.
Mr. Mossberg, do you have a summary you'd like to give of your report?
Certainly. Thank you, Commissioner. Again, I'm Frank Mossberg with Bates White. We are the monitoring technical consultant for this 2022-2023 SOS RFP. We would recommend that you accept the results of this past Monday's reserve bid day. As you mentioned before, this was needed because for several of the products in the initial bid day of April 10th, we did not get enough offers below the price anomaly threshold, or PAT. We would say, I'd give you 4 reasons for accepting this. The first is that it is open and transparent. All bidders were offering similar products. The winners were simply those who offered the lowest price. And we were able to independently verify all the winning bidders and winning bid prices. Second, it was a competitive procurement. I can share a couple numbers. First, we had 10 bidders. That's the same number of bidders that we had in the initial bid day. That's a good number of bidders. These 10 bidders offered 3.2 megawatts for every megawatt needed. That's up a little bit from the initial bid day, where the number was 2.8 to 1 for these particular products. And of those 10 bidders, we had 6 winners. That's down from 8 in the first bid day, but still a pretty healthy number of winners. In addition, all RFP rules were followed. We were able to monitor the bidding in person and monitor all bidder contact. And finally, for the winning bids, they were all below the price anomaly threshold, or PAT. I'll note here that there was one product that failed to attract an offer below the PAT, and that was for the Potomac Edison 12-month residential product. And the course here is laid out in the Phase 2 settlement agreement from 2003 in Case 8908. And essentially the process would be for staff to hold a meeting of the participants and see if there are ways that can be used to fill this load other than simply going to the spot market, which is the default process here. and then the utility will submit a proposal to you, at which point you can rule on it or modify it as you choose. I will say here that there's quite a good amount of time. This product does not start delivery until June of next year. So one particular option, and everyone will have their choice, but one particular option would be to simply roll this into the upcoming June bid day and simply try again to solicit offers below the pad. With that, I'd be happy to take other questions.
Mr. Chairman, we're having apparently a sound problem online.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
If you want to just go off the record for a minute.
We are off the record.
Commissioner Linton, can you hear us?
I guess that would be
Commissioner Linton. Oh, he looks frozen.
okay.
Can you hear us? Everything's fine on your end?
Okay.
Must be the connection.
On the record, so do we just pick up? Okay, I believe you had just completed, Mr. Mossberg, your presentation.
Yes.
At this point, I'll open the floor to Commissioner questions. Commissioner Bubar.
Thank you. Can you just talk a little bit about the timing of we follow the steps that are in the settlement agreement and when the next auction would be, and is there enough time?
Sure, there should be enough time. I believe the timing is the staff meeting should be held, I believe, 5 days from, I think today, essentially, when it's public knowledge that this would be necessary. And then I believe it's 10 days from that time that the utility has to then file its proposal, at which point you are to act on it in as fast a manner as you can, essentially. And now, if that's 15 days from now, that puts us kind of, early to mid-May. The next bid date is June 4th. So that's plenty of time, should that be the choice. If we want to do that, we certainly can do that. We have enough time.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Commissioner Linton, do you have any questions?
No questions, Mr. Chairman.
All right, thank you. With that, the witness is excused. Thank you. Mr. Dean.
Staff would like to call Mr. Drew McAuliffe.
Mr. McAuliffe, would you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear under the penalties of perjury that the statements made in this matter today are the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Please state your position here at the commission.
I'm the Director of Electricity Division.
Thank you. Do you have before you a document entitled Commission Staff Report on the Standard Offer Service Bidding Process and Results for 2023 through 2025 by Drew McAuliffe, consisting of 15 pages?
I do.
Was this document prepared by you or under your supervision?
It was.
Thank you. Staff would like to mark this as Staff Exhibit Number 2.
Thank you. Mr. McAuliffe's testimony will be marked as Staff Exhibit 2 and without objection moved into evidence. Mr. McAuliffe, would you like to offer a summary of your report?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'll provide a brief overview of staff's report of the estimated bill impacts of the standard offer service bidding conducted on April 24th, 2023. SOS bids were received for residential and Type 1 service. This bid was held because some bids for residential and Type 1 service on April 10th, 2023 exceeded the price anomaly threshold. The residential bill impact estimates compare average estimated bills from June 2022 to May 2023 to June 2023 to May 2024. A summary of the estimated average residential bill impacts are provided on page 1. I will now turn to the individual utilities. Please turn to page 3 for Potomac Edison. Please note that Potomac Edison bids 1 year in advance of the other utilities for residential. Thus, the estimated average bill impact compares June 2023 to May 2024 to June 2024 to May 2025. The average total residential bill will increase 10.6%, which translates to approximately $171 per year. The SOS portion of the bill is increasing by 14.6%. Please turn to page 4 for Potomac Electric Power Company. Average total residential bills are increasing 14.4%, which translates to $270 per year. The SOS portion of the bill is increasing 26.5%. Please turn to page 5 for Delmarva Power and Light. Average total residential bills for Delmarva are increasing 14.1%, which translates to $282 per year. The SOS portion of the bill is increasing 24.3%. And please turn to page 6 for Baltimore Gas and Electric. Average total electric residential bills for BGE are increasing 14.5%, which translates to $235 per year. And the SOS portion of the bill is increasing 25.2%. Finally, please turn to page 7 for the Type 1 estimated average bill impacts, which shows an increase for Pepco, Delmarva, and BGE. And this concludes my summary.
Thank you, Mr. McAuliffe. Do commissioners have questions? Commissioner Bubar.
Yes, just one question. Thank you. Can you just give any perspective you have on the increase in rates here for this auction versus the one on April 10th? They similar?
They do seem so. It's somewhat hard to compare because of the Type 2 is a different product. But just looking at the report, the supply rate changed from spring to summer for Type 2. We're in the 20% range for, let's see, Delmarva and PE, and they were in about the 5 to 6% range for BG and Pepco. So we're seeing fairly similar here with the residential.
Okay, thank you.
Commissioner Linton, do you have any questions?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. No questions.
All right, thank you. Okay, does anyone, the witness is excused.
Thank you.
Does anyone wish to be heard at this proceeding? Mr. Trout.
Thank you again, Your Honor. I just wanted to report to the Commission Potomac Edison's present intent with respect to the orphan bid block. So we will have a meeting early next week convened by staff. At that meeting, Potomac Edison intends to propose that we roll that block into the June auction, and unless someone comes up with a better idea during the meeting led by staff, that's what we will be proposing to the Commission. It's not unprecedented to do this. It's unusual, but not the first time that something like this has happened, and we think that's the smoothest and easiest way to take care of it.
Great. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Do we have any questions for Mr. Trout?
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, Commissioner Linton.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Actually, just a quick question for Mr. Trout. I was wondering if he anticipated any concerns or issues with moving forward with the orphan block in June at the next bid.
No, we do not. And part of the comfort that we have is, since we don't have to flow power from this block until June of 2024, if it's still an orphan block after the June auction, which we would hope it would not be, but if it were, we'd still have all of next round's auctions in which to put it up yet again.
Great, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. That's all I have.
Great, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Trout. Seeing no one else wishing to be heard, a letter order will be issued soon regarding the completed auctions considered today. And as been explained, as was explained by Mr. Mossberg and Mr. Trout, and this is as stipulated in SOS Phase 2 settlement agreement, Commission staff will be convening a meeting of all the parties to discuss these alternatives, ways to fill, I think we're calling the orphan bid. And this bid is intended to serve customers of PE, I should say residential customers of PE, beginning in June of 2024. So hopefully that provides plenty of time to make sure that this goes smoothly. So with that, and at that point, according to the Phase 2 report, the Commission will then consider the recommendation on an expedited basis. So with that, without any other business,